how all can have a positive influence on themselves and those around them. Now, we've all been in a situation where one person kind of drags the whole room down, or the whole bar, or whatever, with negativity or just generally complaining, and how you all feel flat, uncomfortable, and wanting to get out of that room or avoid it, or in some cases want to slap the person, you know. So if that one person or group can have that effect to create the low vibration, why can't the people do the opposite and create the opposite effect? It's about transmuting. You just replace negativity with positivity. And is it not the case we kind of tolerate and absorb too easily these low vibrational frequencies? You know, no one goes into to deliberately lower someone else's vibration in most cases. But why does it always become so addictive and so easy a suit to wear? It only takes one person to mention that they are sick or their life is not much fun, and in chimes others saying the same things. It is almost addictive behaviour. And yes, life can be shit, and the world is messed up, but the world is messed up in portion because we are. We haven't collectively addressed ourselves. Now, too often we all jump into victimhood mode, and I was no different until around my early 30s. The world and life was against me. Nobody likes me, etc., etc., until one day I decided maybe I am playing a role in this, and it's not all external. And then things changed drastically for me personally there on in. From low confidence, low self-worth and insecurities all started to melt away, and a new lease of life was born. And suddenly the guy who didn't want to go on vacations not only wanted to go on them, but to emigrate to a vacation place as well. Now that took another 8 years, but by that time I was a completely different person. I changed my own outlook. I no longer allowed personal drama and bad incidents around affect me too much. 45-55 balance achieves that. Now I still get a load of shit, a load of attacks, interference, fun and games, way beyond the average person does. As this telling the truth game has many pitfalls, as we all know. But who would have thought trying to teach people the truth would lead to people who've never met you or spoken to you attack you just for the sake of it? Kind of a sad state of affairs, really. But it's also a reflection of society today. Those who won't face reality, those who are ego or money driven, or just riddled with layers and layers of personal insecurity. They see anyone who vibrates at a higher rate as a threat. No. If you're envious of someone, you have to work harder to achieve the status that you're envious of, not drag those people down. But it doesn't have to be that way. It never did. We don't need executive orders, government bills, rules or legislations to change how we are. It just takes you to sit down, do a life review of where you are at, where you can improve and where you would like yourselves to be in terms of life now, and how you can create your future in your image. Not society's generalised low vibration image. We've had enough of that shit. Life's all about swings, high and low, ups and downs like the metronome. It just doesn't stop unless you interact. Don't get too down if things are not going your way. Don't get too up if things are. Just take it all in your stride. 45, 55. A 5% correction is manageable. 20, 30 or 40% are not. Now there's no way I can do or be involved with what I do with my pendulum swinging from side to side. I would literally spiral out of control or sink. Life would be reactive, which is regressive, and not proactive, which is progressive. And it's all about the balance. How can you achieve balance with anger, mood swings, reactionary behaviours, negativity, complaining? The answer is pure and simple: you can't. You can't properly meditate with those emotions swirling inside of you either. Meditation is about attaining an inner peace, being with yourself, not with the world, with you. But how can you do that with chaos and low vibrational thinking patterns pervading most of yourselves? You just can't. Some people often wonder, why am I always sick? Well, in many cases, it's because of stress, the same low vibrational frequencies. As you haven't been able to attain a balance or an inner peace in your life. And this puts undue strain on your immune system and lowers your abilities. And viruses love that environment, and they will attack you with glee. A lower immune system then interacts with your lower vibrational frequencies, and a bond is made. You are bound with it. But someone who masters their own being will deflect all of that as a natural cause. It won't interact, as the body will alert you and instinct will move you away. So you have to alter your path. And the first thing you have to look at and do is be honest with yourself. It's a lot harder than many think. We lie to ourselves constantly and then recreate an image of us to present to others. But that is the mask, the illusion, and subsequently an illusion. It's like being in a hall of mirrors. You become distorted. How can a distorted image be the best version of you? No matter how many times you lie to yourself and circle, it's still not you. And this is why the shadow and inner work is so important, but it only reaps benefits by being honest with yourself. It will be painful doing that work. There's no getting away from that. As the onion layers you have created of not addressing the issues have mounted up and become much larger than it ever needed to be. I'll deal with that later. It's like an office worker just putting pieces of paper in the outbox. I'll deal with that later. Next minute it's up to the ceiling. And if you're dealing with it bit by bit, it becomes easier. Traumas, pain, anxiety, shame, guilt and anger all bubble to the surface, but they all have to be transmuted into something more positive, and that can take time depending on the individual. It is a process. It won't take one session or 2 weeks and it can take years depending on how many layers or how condensed with the low vibrational frequencies you are. Some in the group have gone through traumas in this life and past lives that are not easy to deal with. You have to piecemeal it. You can't rush it. But leaving it and leaving it and leaving it never solved anything. And as each layer is processed, released, or you're at peace with, those gaps then have to be replaced with something that's more positive and of a higher vibrational frequency, and preferably source-based energies, which you've been told how to develop. The first thing to fix after releasing it is to praise yourself for the accomplishment of overcoming that hurdle. A hurdle you have held on to because you couldn't face it. Well, now you have. So praise away. Self-praise, when it's in truth, can lift you far higher than external praise will ever do. And will also perhaps make you realise how many of you knock yourselves lower by your own comments. Suddenly you will feel lighter. Why? Because your lower frequency has been reduced. These lower frequencies weigh heavy on the body's immune system, mind and heart. Denser and heavy is 3D. Lighter is heading towards 4D. 4D, in 4D, you are 10% of the denseness you are in 3D. That's why you feel lighter. Higher vibrational frequencies has a light feeling about it. You're less dense. The low vibrational frequencies are heavy. Most heart conditions are not because the person smokes or eats fatty foods. It's because the heart has been put under too much stress. It's the cause of all organ failure. And the person has not adequately dealt with it. And this, as I said, applies to other conditions also. And these are things we can all fix. Operating in love, caring for others, helping others, non-judgmental, balanced state, positive outlook, all raise your frequency and creates and enhances your own PSI field to boot. And what happens then is you will then attract the like-minded PSI fields, the same frequency, and your circle of influence increases. Some of the higher vibrational frequency people have a radius of 25 miles. Sadly, they are few, but that's the influence it can have. And what you will find, the higher your frequency go, your lower frequency associates and friends will suddenly fade from your life. Why? They're not in the same resonance as why. You attracted those people when you operated in low vibrational frequency. Like attracts like a magnet. Suddenly you've gone on a higher frequency and those people fade away. And whilst it's not the external change that many people seek, but if we all change internally, you will all find that most of the external desires will cease to be as important as you think they are. Something to ponder. Final piece tonight, something I haven't said in a while. I know at least one of our members loves this piece and wants me to say it more. Well, here we go. If you lead life in love and care, you will prevail. If you lead life in fear and anger, you will fail. Feel free for you to be the person you wish to be, not the person who conforms to what others want them to be. You are a multi-dimensional being operating simultaneously on many levels. You are not here to conform. You are not here to be stifled. You are not here to be enslaved. You are not here to be abused or to compete with your friends, family, or neighbours. You are here to be the best you can be, and do so as a crown of creation. Now go out with the confidence of who and what you are, and excel in yourself, and in doing so, inspire others. This has been the Truth, Honour and Integrity Show. My name's Thomas Williams. Bye for now. We're all still standing.